Welcome to the video. I'm CuddlyJay, and today we shall be talking about a Star Wars game mode that surprised us all. And I have to say, it was a lot of fun, especially when it first released. This game mode is in the original Battlefront 1 game from 2015, and it's called Fighter Squadron. Now sadly, this game mode doesn't have a player base online from what I've experienced on PC in these last few weeks, but you can still experience this game in the skirmish game mode on all 6 maps. So we have a choice of 6 maps. As I said, we have Outpost Basin, which is by far my favorite map out of all 6 of them. We then have Twilight on Hoth, which is my most disliked map, as the snow and just the darkness is just annoying and not fun to fly around in. We then have Jundland Waste, Jawa Refugee, Graveyard of the Giants, which I have to say is a very cool map indeed, and finally Soros Hub Centralplex, which is on Solus. Now, I do remember the first day going onto this game mode on launch, and I have to say I had a lot of fun. I played this with a controller originally to make it a lot easier on myself, and I remember going into first person and being amazed by this. This game mode sometimes just looks like something straight out of a movie or TV show, and it still is truly amazing to this day. Even coming back now, there are moments where I'm just like, wow, this just felt super Star Warsy and super immersive, so yeah, it's just super enjoyable. Now for today's video though, I will be playing this on a mouse and keyboard, so first person mode with the mouse and keyboard is a lot more difficult. So let's get straight into this, shall we? Now in this Fighter Squadron game mode, you can choose between the Rebel Alliance or the Mighty Empire. Once you choose a faction of your choice, or if you get the chance to play this online with others, you'll most likely just be randomly assigned to one of the factions, the Rebels or the Empires, and then you will have a choice between 2 star vehicles. Now, you will have soft lock, by the way, just so you know. Once you've picked your vehicle, soft lock in on the mouse anyway is right click, your soft lock on enemies, and you can shoot them with your main attack, which is the primary left click. That'll shoot your laser cannons at them, and you can also use your other abilities too while this is locked on. So for the first one, we'll be looking at the most iconic starfighter for the Rebel side, and that is the X-Wing. You have a shield ability with the X-Wing, and this will of course decrease the damage you take, as guess what, it's giving yourself a shield, making you more tanky and being able to take a lot more hits. Now this ability back on launch day, and I think even now, is still a little overpowered. It's really good indeed. And then the other ability that you have with the X-Wing is an ability that will lock on, so you'll soft lock on with your right click, and then you can, shoot your laser cannons and of course shoot your proton torpedoes, which will follow the enemy and hopefully destroy them. Now once locked on, and let's say you fire those torpedoes and they miss, the main reason they can miss is because of the maneuvering in this game. All space vehicles on both sides have 3 maneuver abilities to help dodge incoming attacks from your enemies and of course locked on torpedoes. These also have a cooldown, so you can go left to dodge, right to dodge, or you can go straight up and straight behind you to throw your enemies off, and of course torpedoes. It's really good indeed, and once you use one of these, you can't use another until that cooldown reactivates again. By the way, the one where you go straight up and behind you is the most enjoyable one out of all the maneuvering skills, and it just feels really nice pulling it off. Let's now have a look at the A-Wing starfighter and discuss the 2 abilities this one has. This is more of a speedster spacecraft. So the first ability increases the speed of your A-Wing, helping you with catching up to enemies to save your allies or leaving enemies in the dust. The other ability is the same as the X-Wing with the proton torpedoes. Overall, the main difference between these 2 is just the X-Wing is more tanky with those extra shields, so they can take more damage, while the A-Wing is more of a speedster and likes to fly around quite fast. Let's head over to the Empire side now and show off the TIE Fighter. This TIE Fighter uses a speed ability just like the A-Wing on the Rebel side. The TIE Fighter also has an ion torpedo, which can be locked onto enemies to deal more damage. Now next we have the TIE Interceptor, which also has the ability to move faster. The second ability is called Laser Barrage, which means you can lock onto enemies easier and have infinite firing laser power for a certain amount of time. No cooldown will happen when this ability is activated, and it's actually really good. Now on the maps themselves, if you actually look at the ground on the planet, you will see abilities that are laying around, and these can be picked up by simply flying through them. One of these little power-ups on the ground will refresh the cooldown of all your abilities so you can use them again sooner. The other, of course, repairs your space aircraft, meaning you can stay in the fight a lot longer. And finally, there is a third one, which is the hero ability, meaning you can pick this up and fly in a cool hero vehicle. Let's start off with the Empire side and my favorite one, which is of course the Slave One. The Slave One in the first-person mode from the cockpit view is actually the coolest. All sounds are exactly like the movies and TV shows, and it's just really fun and really enjoyable. And you of course have three abilities with the Slave One. You have the proton torpedoes, ion cannons, and of course a sensor jammer, making it more difficult to lock onto you during combat. This is by far my favorite in this game mode and the most enjoyable to play. And while we're talking about the sounds and all, I really do enjoy the TIE Fighters and the TIE Interceptors. They sound fantastic. I just love that sound they make. It's super immersive and I just really enjoy it.
All fighters, rebel spacecraft attacking. Destroy them before they can bring down any of our shuttles.
Shake that missile lock.
Now for the Rebel Alliance side, we have the famous Falcon. You have three abilities that are different from the Slave One. The first ability is a speed boost, increasing your movement speed to dodge incoming torpedoes and enemies. The Falcon also has a shield ability to increase its defense, as it is quite a large space shuttle compared to everything else flying around the map. And then the final third ability is called Concussion Warheads, and this is simply two torpedoes that shoot out towards your enemies. Now for me, going into first person isn't as cool as the Slave One for this one. It's still alright, but it's just not as cool as all the other vehicles in my opinion. And I wish they could have done maybe a little bit more with this one. Overall, it's always enjoyable coming back to this game mode to have a little bit of fun. I personally don't think this was balanced too well due to their, X-Wings on the Rebel side having that extra defense. And I remember playing this back in the day, it was really hard for the Empire to beat the Rebels due to the shields alone. If the, Empire did beat the Rebels, it was honestly like a miracle. It really was. Now, that was a long time ago, so I'm sure there are amazing flyers out there nowadays. I'm sure some of you will tell me, oh, the Empire always win, but when I played this online back in the day, the Empire barely won against the Rebels at all, and it was just a very unbalanced game mode. Now, did I care about this, though? No, I didn't actually. I just went in there, had some arcade fun, and just had a blast. It was so much fun, even if you did lose. It was just really immersive, fun. All the vehicles are really cool as well, and the Slave One is just on another league. It was just so enjoyable. Anyways, leave a like, subscribe, and leave some comments below if you enjoyed the video. I did just recover from being quite sick, so this is the reason I didn't have any recent uploads. So we're getting back into creating more videos and more content for you all to watch. Anyways, cheerio everyone, and I'll see you in another one.